Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. This is HD StarCraft, and I am proud to bring you guys Game 3. This will be the last semi-final cast. It has gone to the rubber match. This will be the last round of 4 matchup, and following this, we will know who will face off against Bly in the grand finals for this absolutely amazing tournament. So, without further ado, let me go ahead and introduce the players. In the top left-hand corner, we do have the orange Protoss player. It is Cougar. And in the last game of this set, in Game 2, he was able to hold off that notorious 3-factory all-in from his opponent. He held it off pretty easily, too, I'm not going to lie. And after that, it was almost like taking candy away from a baby. I mean, how you can't lose at that point unless you really mess up. And he played it quite well, you know. And at first, when I saw the Dark Shrine coming, I was like, why is he going for DTs? He's already ahead, but in a way it almost makes a lot of sense because Terran players that go mech are unlikely to have an engineering bay, which means unlikely to have detection from a missile turret. So, so far, that's all I gotta say about Cougar, man. So far, he's looking pretty good. Will he win this game and go on to the grand finals? Over in the bottom right-hand corner of the map, we have the red Terran player. His name is Adolf. Yes, I should probably say that. And you know what? He has a pretty interesting strategy. It's not going for the late game. And we did see him play some pretty drawn-out battles in TVT. But so far, in Terran versus Protoss, his primary go-to has been this 3-factory, 1-base push. And you know what? Will he do it again? I don't know. The map is Ohana. And yeah, we're back to Ohana, man. Took that flight, 14-hour flight, right back to the Hawaiian Islands. And you know what? I gotta say, if there's a map for you to do that 3-factory push on, this map is the one. It is so condensed vertically that if you do make a push with some type of 1-base strategy, it can be sick in terms of the timing it takes to get over there. Now, I love the assimilator steal by Cougar. Wow! This is so intelligent, and you know, usually most Protoss players don't bother doing this, but if a Terran is going to go mech, they need both gases, and also going for this assimilator gives him great vision around this area. I mean, look at how much he sees, man. He sees so much with this assimilator. It's almost insane. And it's like more than an observer sees. And then also another nice thing about assimilators is, for whatever reason, the StarCraft 2 programmers forgot to code in the fact that they have 900 HP and refineries and extractories only have 500. So I don't know what the case with that is, because you know, like a gateway has 1,000 and barracks have 1,000, but the assimilator just happens to have more than its counterpart, the refinery. So it takes a while for it to kill off. And yeah, that's a good start, man. Now it's really going to delay any factory options coming out here from Adolf. But I don't think he's going to go for a factory. Maybe he'll go for a 1-Rax expand. Yeah, there it is. 1-Rax expand with gas. And I actually kind of like that, because usually when you see a Terran player going for gas, going for the barracks, and he bothered to send the Marines to kill off the assimilator, you're automatically going to assume as Protoss player that he's probably not going for a CC here at the natural. But we do have a Zealot and a Stalker coming out here from Cougar, and I think he will probably try to send it to the front door to check. No, he won't. He's actually going to retreat here. And I don't know if I agree with that. Most Protoss usually send the Zealot and Stalker out to check the front door to confirm for a CC. Now, I think the reason why he didn't send it out was because he realized that, hey, Cougar is Adolf is probably going to go for some type of 1-base strategy again. Why waste losing my Zealot and my Stalker? And the reason why he assumes that is for the reason I said before. You know, he tried to kill off the gas, and he already had 1 gas going, so he's probably not going for 1-Rax expand. But, you know, that's not the case. Now, he finally decides to send the Zealot and Stalker down south, and he really needs to check up the ramp, man. Unfortunately, no, there's a bunker there. And that's really clever. That's really smart by the Terran player Adolf to get that bunker up. Really intelligent, because it prevents any Zealot or Stalker from running up the ramp. And so for now, the Protoss is really in the dark, but he is going for 3 gates, no Robo. Oh wow, this is a change up here from the Protoss player, now adding on the Robo after the 3 gates. So he's going to do a 3-gate pressure here without robotic support, but you know, with a bunker there at the front and a bunker in the back, I don't think it's going to be feasible here. Those Stalkers are playing with fire, man. There is so much Marine firepower here. In total, That is 10 Marines. 4 Marines inside the bunker and 6 outside. Those 3 Stalkers don't stand a chance in hell. And, you know, there's a proxy pylon up, but don't think this pylon's going to be seeing much action today, guys. And Cougar deciding now, okay, seems like you do have an expansion because you do have a bunker up there. I can't know for certain, you know, because I haven't been able to scout up the ramp, but I'm going to go ahead and assume that, yeah, you do have an expansion down because you bothered to go ahead and invest in a bunker. And to be totally honest with you guys, that is really a risky assumption, considering, you know, he won't know anything because he got a much later robotics facility this game. That's why he's trying to chrono boost the obs right now. I mean, most Protoss players usually chrono boost obs regardless, but you know, it's risky because he got a later RoboBay than he did in games 1 and 2. He went 3 gates first, and for now, he really doesn't know, is it a 3-factory push or not? This is his vision, man. He has no idea. Could just be 2 fake bunkers at the front for all he knows. But the Observer is on the way right now, and it will confirm that there is a CC up. And did he just... he added on a second robotics facility? Wow. So I think what Cougar is doing here is saying, well, it worked last game, going for mass Immortal Colossus, so why not try it again? And I still feel like, you know, in my personal opinion, I don't think robotics is the answer against Warhound. I think Warhound is the answer against robotics. So I really don't know if from a cost efficiency standpoint if that was a good idea or not. But he is going to go for that double robo play again, and it looks like he's going to send that Observer down. Now he knows for certain that there is a natural, if he at all was confused before. And, you know, Warhound production beginning. Double Immortal coming out from Cougar. And, you know, it worked in the last game. Might as well try it again. Support Bay also coming up. And that robotic support bay does mean that we are going to have Colossus as well as Immortals. Such a stretch, though, man, on 2 bases. You guys have to remember that Cougar was able to pull that off last game because he had 4 bases and all of that gas mining. I really don't know if he's going to be able to afford this much tech off of two bases. If he does, he is certainly not going to have any gateway units to protect his Immortals and his Colossus. So this is pretty damn risky, man. Now, do note there is a missile turret here. I like that, man. I mean, last game he didn't get an engineering bay because he was going mech, and he paid the price. This time he has certainly done his research, and we have an engineering bay up. Turrets inside the mineral line, turrets outside of the natural, and it looks like we have a push here coming out from the Terran player. Adolf feeling confident here. This is a big army, guys, and this time it's backed up with a lot more Marines than ever before. That Marine production coming out of the barracks with the reactor, and this is a big push of not only mech but also bio. Now granted, the bio isn't upgraded, but it is there regardless, and it can shred through these Immortals. Along with the Warhounds. Warhounds and Marines both, I think, are great against the Immortals. So here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Force fields coming down. And if these force fields are not perfect, then Cougar is going to lose this game. Adolf is punching through the side door now. He will not be stopped. He is ever relentless. 2 Colossus have come in, though. Now, they don't have thermal lances yet, but the Colossus are going to help so much. Great force fields coming out from the Protoss, cutting that Terran army in half. And it looks like just because of force fields alone by Cougar, he should be able to push this army away. And now that Terran metal army is in full retreat, man, there's no way they're going to be able to punch up the ramp. So very nice force fields. Another force field coming down, hoping to catch that Warhound out of position. But guess what, man? The Warhound has 220 HP. It doesn't go down very easily at all, although it might die here. Oh! Ouch. Down it goes at the very last second. So a nice play right there by Cougar to go ahead and catch the last Warhound in retreat. And in this push here, in this kind of counterattack, it does look like Cougar has felt confident enough to go ahead and secure his 3rd Nexus, and that's a good idea. He has map control. It's always, you know, it's the rulebook, the staple of StarCraft 2, to expand while attacking, expand while you have map control. And while this is a counterattack, I don't think he's going to force his way up the ramp. He will be able to just camp outside the Terran base and secure this 3rd Nexus. And that's exactly what he's doing. Now, Vikings are coming out on the field, though. And those Vikings are a scary sight for the Colossus. Force fields coming down to kind of form up an obstacle so that the Terran army can't go ahead and chase down the Colossus now, as they are in retreat. And Cougar falling back to his base. But I think all in all, Cougar is looking pretty decent because he has that third Nexus coming. Granted, you know, his supply might not be the best in terms of, you know, the overall 99 under 114, but once this third Nexus gets saturated, things are going to look really good for the Protoss player. And wow, look at this! Adolf has added on double starport with reactor, man. He is not joking around. He is making Vikings 4 at a time on 2 bases. Only 14 minutes in, that's pretty insane, man. This is pretty unheard of. So he is absolutely not going to have any problems with Colossus, and it's so good that this Observer is out here because I think that Observer can just barely see the Vikings. Now it does see the Vikings, and because of that, you can see he has completely stopped Colossus production. He is switching up his tech now to Templar and Blinkstalkers. Blinkstalkers great against Vikings, and Templar just because Archon Templar is better than Colossus when you're dealing with this many Vikings. And you know what? Archon and Templar, like I said before, is very good against Warhounds. So I really like the tech switch coming out here from Cougar. But the question is, will he be able to get his forces out in time? This is a big push by the Terran player, and the Vikings are going to lead the charge. Those Colossus are going down so fast. Oh, 2 Colossus just dropping down like little flies. And now, Adolf just feeling so emboldened with the loss of the Colossus of his opponent, can now push in with these Warhounds. Haywire's going off against the Immortals, and notice how the Immortals don't really do very well against Warhounds at all. Great micro away from the Storms. He didn't do that last game, and he lost a lot of his Warhounds. Now trying to micro out of the Storm once again. Pretty decent dodging coming out from the Terran player, and Adolf just has so many Warhounds here, is going to be able to do a ton of damage. These Immortals just, they're not the right unit, in my opinion, against Warhounds. Look at how fast they will drop. It looks like the Warhounds are going after the Nexus, though. Oh, the Nexus falls! The Nexus falls along with the Mothership core attached to it. And only one Warhound makes it out alive to tell the story of that battle, man. It was like King Leonidas telling his Spartans, man, you go home and send the message back home that we have won the fight. Actually, they didn't win in the movie, did they? But you send the message back home that we killed off the Nexus and the Mothership core. And that was such a last-second decision coming out from Adolf, but it worked. It was brilliant. And now all he has to worry about, which I'm not going to diminish this, I might have seemed like I did, but it is a big worry, is a counterattack by the Protoss player, because Cougar has a ton of Archons coming. He has a lot of Templar with packed up Storm energy, and he's got a decent sized army of Immortal Stalkers. So I do believe a counterattack is something he has to fear, so that's why he's getting a planetary, so intelligent, coming out here from the Red Terran player. And that will kind of shore up his defenses a little bit back at home. And now Vikings coming in. Oh, I love the play by Adolf. He knows that Colossus production is all but halted. Why not use these Vikings to harass? And he's going to come in here and, oh, the Colossus! What is this Colossus doing? Doesn't he realize that Vikings can transform? That Colossus could go down so quickly if these Vikings lift off, but Adolf, not paying attention, is actually going to go for a forge kill. And I don't know if that was the right decision there. I think if I was in that spot, I would have went for the Colossus. Maybe he wasn't paying attention, but he did. I think that was a missed opportunity. And now that last Viking, nowhere else to fly, is going to die. And down it goes. All right, so a very close game to start things off. We have more of a traditional playstyle, I think, from the Protoss player. You know, trying to go in for Colossus, then when he saw the Vikings, switched it up to charge out Archon. Hasn't really used any of the new units yet, besides the Mothership core. But you can't really blame him. I do think that most people in the community, and I think I myself included, feel like Protoss so far have the least amount of options in Heart of the Swarm, so you can't really blame him here for going for more standard Wings of Liberty style. As far as Adolf goes, man, he is, the sky's the limit, man. He's going mass Warhounds, but the problem is we have Archons now. Now, there aren't charge lots yet, but there are a lot of Archons, and Warhounds I don't think are very good against Archons, so we'll see what happens here. But here we go, though. You can see here the Warhound cannot launch Haywires against that powerful ball of psionic energy, man. You cannot Haywire a marriage of 2 Templar, okay? You're not the home wrecker for those guys. And here comes that Protoss army. This is a big one here from Cougar. Adolf might be in trouble pulling back his Warhounds to the ram. Needs to be playing this very carefully, man. And bringing his Warhounds up to the high ground. He does still have that PF here covering this location. Love the position of the factories as well. It'll help kind of maze off and labyrinth the PF away from total surrounding. And alright, well, it looks like Cougar is just securing a 4th Nexus at this moment in time, as is the Terran player securing his 4th CC, but I do think that Cougar is feeling pretty confident right now, and, you know, there's no reason why he shouldn't be. He's got charge slots, he's got Archons now, the charge on Archon build is in full effect, he's even got a lot of Immortals and Colossus here as well, and it looks like this army is going to go straight for this planetary fortress. The Warhounds need to get on the low ground, the Vikings coming in, the Storm pushing away the Warhounds, the PF has fallen, Zealots just ripping up the mules and SCVs, but in the meantime, there are so many Warhounds here that Adolf can just push down the ramp. The Warhounds are so good, but the Storm whittling down their HP, and it does look like the Warhounds are going to win the battle, but at what cost? And when you think about it, it's a pretty hefty one. The PF went down. The mules and SCVs for the Terran player dropping a significant amount, 28 Harvesters killed so far. Now, he needs to make a counterattack, and he needs to make this count. But the problem is he is facing up against more Templars and Zealots. Where is he going to go? I don't think he realizes that there is a 4th Nexus up here. No, he doesn't. Now he's just going to go over to the 3rd, and this is putting him in a risky spot because there are reinforcements arriving from both sides. He can get sandwiched in here and lose his entire army. Oh, the Storm just burning up the Warhounds. Warhounds trying to go after Colossus but aren't able to do so, and I don't think we're going to have another 300. This is Sparta moment. No, definitely not. Those Warhounds now are in full retreat. And no, they're just going to die. Even the Battle Hellion falls, and that was not a successful counterattack by the Terran player Adolf. That was actually pretty bad. You know, it would have been better for him to just not even attack at all and just keep his Warhound army fully alive. But as it stands now, he is down a base, he's down workers, he is down an army, and I don't think Warhounds now are the answer, like I said before, against Charge on Archon. There's so many Zealots now, and Templar morphing out, and Archons soon to be married, plus the Storm energy building up on these Templar, which is now maxed. I think when you're facing off a situation like this, you do need to start to consider utilizing a different unit, but the question is what? And you know, ghosts obviously come to mind here. Unfortunately, does he have a Ghost Academy? He does, but he is not making ghosts out of his barracks. You know, EMP Shockwave is so critical to dealing with those Archons because you can just blanket EMP the Archons and then they have no more HP for you to even worry about. But he doesn't have ghosts on the way, and as the game goes on, I get increasingly worried here for the Terran player. I think Cougar is setting himself up very nicely to close this out, barring a miracle here from the Terran player. Now, he has resecured this 3rd expansion, but he's still continuing with Warhound production, really confident, I guess, with his Warhounds, but we'll have to see, man. He needs to do a better job of dodging the storms if he's going to be able to keep his Warhounds alive. Now, this is risky, running up that ramp, man, when all his Warhounds are clumped up. I don't agree with that, but really, what kind of, you know, you're in this situation, and you have to attack. You have to prevent the Protoss from mining, but you just can't run up that ramp. You know, you're faced with 2 evils, and unfortunately, running up that ramp is just not even an option. Now, it does look like he is going to go in for an engage on more open ground. Not a bad idea, as the Protoss has been baited outside. And looks like the Templar are just going to go ahead and go back home. Not too sure why. But those Colossus and Archons, this Protoss ball is just getting so big. It does look like the Vikings are going to go in for a snipe, but the Stalkers immediately blink forward. And here we go, ladies and gentlemen. There are not enough Battle Hellions here to deal with the charge lots. He needs more Battle Hellions, and it looks like he has finally been able to kill off most of the Zealots, but without Battle Hellion support, he really lost a lot of territory there. And as a result, he lost all his Vikings. Oh my goodness. Every single Viking just went down. And yeah, that's why when you go for this mech-based play, if you do start facing off against charge lots, you need to switch it up. You need Battle Hellions to deal with that. And he really only had 2 in that army composition. So a very good job by Cougar, recognizing the deficiency there, pushing out, and now adding on Stargates and a Fleet Beacon. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, we may just have Tempest on the way. Will it be Tempest? Will it be Mothership? I don't know. We'll just have to wait and find out, but I'm pretty excited now because we have a fleet beacon coming. I think it will be Tempests. And recall that game with Dopa and Pain User that I casted on my YouTube channel, Epic Terran versus Protoss. But we found out there that when the Terran goes mass mech, very limited in terms of anti-Tempest options. And guess what? There are now 2 Tempests on the way for Cougar. Cougar, with the Tempest coming out, the Terran is not going to have an option to deal with that. Vikings are really the only thing he can really create, given his current production facilities, to counter that type of unit. And even then, the Viking is not that great against Tempest. And the Tempest, now researching the Gravity Sling on the Fleet Beacon, and the Gravity Sling upgrade gives the Tempest the ability to have 22 range. Without it, it's something like, I think, 11. And you guys can see the upgrade coming right now. Increases Tempest range weapon by 12. That is, you might as well just say, makes the Tempest into a double ranged unit. It can attack twice as far. You can attack infinity range, forget it. But yeah, the Tempest now coming out. And, you know, that's pretty scary, man. This type of army, this type of well-roundedness, I do think Cougar is looking really, really good. And, you know, that's a lot of Warhounds. I'm not going to lie, man. That is a crap ton of Warhounds. But is it enough, man? Is it going to be enough to deal with this type of Charge Lot, Archon, Colossus, Stalker, Tempest army? Such a good amount of units mixed in there for the Protoss player. Now, the Viking production is still continuing onwards. And that is a lot of Vikings. He would be really well advised now to go ahead and snipe out a couple of those Tempests if possible. And it looks like he is going to go in for a potential snipe. He is also securing the 5th command center. And, you know, Cougar is just playing very smart right now. Why push out? Why risk going out when my army isn't maxed yet? It's at 196 supply. I can wait for my last few rounds of Tempest to come out. I can, you know, allow all my units to get more energy. The Mothership Core, all my Templar can max out, which it looks like they're about to do so just right now. That Mothership Core just moments away from maxing. And then I can push out, and I can rebuild my army so quickly. I can recall my entire army out if things get hairy. So it's just overall very smart play by the Protoss. And now, oh, the Tempest revealing themselves against the Terran. Adolf is losing his Vikings, and the Templar coming out to back up the Tempest because he knows Vikings are out there. So very smart play. Extremely intelligent by Cougar. And the scan goes down, revealing what the Terran did not want to see. He's now researching plus ship weapons level 1 and more Vikings. But Vikings, I don't know, man. This is going to be pretty scary because there's Templar there and the storm comes down. And, you know, with the Templars backing up the Tempest like that, I don't think Vikings, with their much more severely hampered range, they only have 9 range. The Tempest has 22. I don't think that the Vikings will be able to win out that war, and now it looks like Cougar is going to go ahead and make a push to the left-hand side of the map. There's only a PF here, and what will the Terran player do? He's got a great setup in the middle, but he's not bringing anything to help save this base, and he's just relying primarily on his SCVs to repair the PF. Now the Vikings coming in. Will they be able to snipe a Colossus down? Immediately running away because of the fear of Storm. And now the Warhound's coming in. This is it, ladies and gentlemen. The Storm is just killing all the Vikings off, though. And if all the Vikings die, then there's no way for Adolf to kill off these Tempests. But does it matter? He just killed off the entire robotics army, and now he's just left with primarily Warhounds. Of course, he has to retreat against the Tempest. The Tempests are going to give chase, but damn, those Warhounds just proving how strong they really are. And now I think Adolf kind of realizing, well, I have all these Warhounds, I might as well make an attack, and he's going to go over to the top right-hand side, but there are charge lots here, and the storm comes down. Oh, the storm is crippling these Warhounds to death. But the Warhounds are so plentiful in number, doesn't matter. Now trying to spread away from the storm. But damn, those are some pretty awesome storms coming out from Cougar. And Cougar's still using these Tempests to try to back up his Nexus. The Nexus now under fire. There are Battle Hellions here this time. But the Mothership, the Tempest and the Cannon and the Zealots, they will not be able to save the Nexus. Oh, it was so close. And once again, another 300s. This is Sparta's story from those Warhounds, man. I don't know, it's something about Warhounds and killing off Nexuses, but every single time it is so damn close. And now it's just left with Vikings and Tempest. And there's so many Tempests here that the Vikings will die. Now, the problem is who can remax faster. And if you think about it, even though Cougar did lose this Nexus, he has been mining off of 5 bases for a substantially larger amount of time than the Terran player has. On top of that, he still has all these Tempests alive, and the Terran Adolf still doesn't have an answer to dealing with those Tempests. He doesn't have a way to make units that can deal with that. I don't know what those 3 Templar thought they were doing, but they are walking dangerously close to that PF, and now they will lay down some Storm! Oh, those SCBs just got crushed by Psionic Energy, and that PF will go down. So yeah, we have this result that I thought was going to happen, but the problem here is that the Terran just doesn't have a way to deal with Tempest, and he doesn't have as much of a bank as a Protoss player. Not to mention that Protoss with Warp Gates can cycle in new units much quicker than a Terran cannon. Do I see 6 robotics facilities? Is this even a thing right now, man? There is something about Cougar and going for robotics that it just doesn't add up, but he's able to pull it off. And now he's got this Zealot Tempest army with Immortal backup as well. And it looks like despite the imba-ness of the Warhound, Cougar is going to still steamroll through. Adolf not able to hang on, may lose another base here. And yeah, I think this Planetary Fortress is going to fall, and down it goes. So PF number 2 has gone down. And now what will Adolf do, man? He is going to call the GG. GG, good luck, calls Adolf. And Cougar, ladies and gentlemen, is your grand finalist. Now we know exactly what's going to happen. It is going to be a Protoss versus Zerg in the grand finals. Oh man, this has been absolutely amazing. And you know, a long 37-minute brawl between these two guys. And it was just a little, you know, at first I thought Adolf was looking really good because he had all these Warhounds, and Warhounds are really impressive so far. They're an extremely good unit against Protoss, but then, you know, for a while, you know, it was like Cougar didn't have the right units to deal with that. Then he started to incorporate Zealots and Templar and Archons, and then finally added in Tempest. And once that happened, the Warhounds kind of died out. They weren't as effective as they were before, and eventually that was what was able to get the Protoss player the win today. So I hope you guys enjoyed this cast, and following this we are going to have the grand finals. I hope you guys are ready for that, and I'll see you guys in that cast, man. Please do stay tuned. This is HD StarCraft, and I am signing out.